Tell me about it. Where do I start? I have been married for 13 years. My wife and I have had a very loving relationship up until the last couple of years. She turned 40 and was vocally upset by getting old, saying I only have 10 years of looking good left. Since then, she has changed her clothing some, had her body done, got collagen in her lips and face etc. Then she opened up a Facebook account and started flirting openly. We have fought a lot about that since she opened it. Since I have confronted her with the flirting, just hid it all, and added an instant messenger to her account. She became best friends with a married male, and they have spent numerous hours on the phone. Though she has recently said they don't talk much, there were times when they talked for a lot, 6 hours over 2 weeks. She has also lightly flirted with him in front of me. In the last year, she has been depressed, complaining a lot about the daily grind of taking care of the kids, not getting out to do anything. She is a stay-at-home mom, often saying that she is jealous of her friend who has a husband who doesn't care where she is, and no kids at home, so her friend can do whatever she wants. Last year, she started texting a single guy, including on Christmas morning while I was playing with the kids and setting up their toys. I later confronted her over a conversation where her female best friend said, "Something is so going to happen between you two," of the single man. She says that was nothing and I am just overly jealous and controlling. Yet, another warning sign, and she continued to text him for another few months. So, this year, in July, something snapped. We just stopped talking for a couple weeks, and when I confronted her, she laid into me about never loving her, and specifically saying that when we broke up, by letter, my bad, 15 years ago when we were dating, it really hurt her, and now, after 13 years of marriage, she wants to separate. She refuses to see any counseling, or admit that this is a MLC. I tell her I love her and this is heartbreaking, and she basically says she is sad but needs to get away. I don't think she has any good reason so leave, but do have a theory. My theory is that she has been flirting on Facebook, and the guys have been hitting on her a lot, and she wants to live like she is 25 again. I represent nothing more than a boring life, and she wants more. I am not sure if she has cheated, but did notice 2 notes that she had. One was a grocery list with KY listed. I'm sure she will say it was some sort of moisture issue, and a Go phone activation number seems to be hiding communication again. I am contemplating just filing for divorce. I can't change the past, and after 13 years of a loving relationship, can't imagine any way to convince her that I do love her at this point. Advice. A year ago, she cried at my dad's funeral at the thought of losing me. Now she wants out. I got very similar advice from another blog as well, but I guess those 15 people were not enough for me. These are the times that try men's souls, I guess. I did detach emotionally since July. We have barely talked and been essentially in-house separated. But when we talked 2 weeks ago, she said she still doesn't know what she wants. Translation: I want out and don't know how to tell you. So, I forced it and said I need to know, and she said she wanted a trial separation. I said, after 13 years, another 1 year of me telling you I love you won't make a difference. I was going to file next spring, but the advice I keep getting is to file now. I think she wants to wait for the holidays for the kids, which my world revolves around, so she knows I'm partial to anything for them. And the fact that her reasons for leaving me just won't fly with her whole family, then know me and us as a couple way too much. She will look like an idiot. She wanted to be the stay-at-home mom to raise our kids. She hated work. Now, she complains that she is bored, and alludes to it being my fault. I told her I would love to stay home, but that goes nowhere. She doesn't want help. Actually, when I have brought up seeking professional help, she gets offended that I think she needs help. When I first brought it up, she actually said if I go, I don't want all this to be my fault. I have tried to be the nice guy, and yes, I do love her, so this is and will continue to be tough, but realize that the I don't know what I want was a stalling deal. While it won't be my problem, I have had a GF go through all this many years ago, almost a carbon copy of events, and have pointed out that in a couple years, she will be so sad she blew this up. What is expected? That just falls on deaf ears. I appreciate the support. I have basically no family to lean on. Hers I suspect will support me, though they are 200 miles away. For 2 years I have been told I am a jealous maniac, not letting her talk to guys on Facebook, being jealous about her male friend, or being a jerk when I get mad when she goes to a hobby group meeting from 6 to 10, then wants to go out with the group for drinks until midnight. I know she needs to get out. It's hard to be in the house every day all day. Things just didn't seem right. She is certainly in a fog. I was the guy that did anything she wanted to make her happy. But now I never loved and hurt her so much 15 years ago that now she needs out. She doesn't see it, and I expect one for a year or two, then reality will hit. Sadly, she feels entitled for sure. That is right on target. And I'm the guy for not letting her. I'm not saint, but I agree she has disrespected me for 2 years. And doesn't care. Heck, based on our text war yesterday, doesn't care about my feelings at all and seemingly no interest in saving us. So while painful, is very telling of her determination to end this, for whatever reason she has in store. Will be very interesting to see how her family responds when I tell them her reason. And then the issues over the past couple years. At this point have her verbal, tentative agreement that this is what she wants, so she moves out. I want the house. She can see what it's like in a small apartment alone, or with her BF. I'm not going to her family for anything other than taking in the shock on their faces. These blog posts have helped me realize how pathetic her lines are, so it will be interesting and funny at some point, when they just can't connect the dots she puts out. Cause they can't. Actually, she has said that she is going through the change a lot. She gets hot flashes, etc. That could be it, but I thought she got tested for hormones and was fine. May have been a year or so ago. I'll bounce back. I'm just in shock, I guess. My kids come first, and they need a dad, so my time of self-pity can only last so long. As has been noted, a divorce is end of sorts. I need to grieve, and then move on with the good memories and support and love for my kids. I took the 180 approach to the next level this weekend. Though I try to be cordial, I was certainly cold and emotionally detached. She noticed the change. She said for the first time that she does not want a divorce and that she still loves me. I'm not fooled by this nonsense. She is seeing the change in me and is now a little scared, I think. I will meet with a divorce attorney this week and start planning. I still think her strategy is to get me look like the bad guy by filing, which I guess is fine. We are past the take a trip together phase. We traveled this summer and she didn't even talk to me. I can't even get her to talk to me about what the heck is going on now. She just doesn't want to about us and the path ahead. She wants a trial separation, but it's been 6 months and her attitude has not changed towards me at all. What is another year going to do? Answer: nothing. I think I will trial separate for a term of 12 months after I file, which will give her 12 months to figure out if this is what I want, or we finalize the divorce and move on with our lives. Her true reason for separating is because I was a jerk while we dated 15 years ago. No, I don't believe that for a second. But that's her line. Then what in the heck is going to change in a year? Nothing. I have wasted enough time is right. And you're right, doesn't matter. She has been hiding communication with men for 2 years, and I think still is, and made zero effort to even try to talk or work it through with me. Like someone said, I need to quit wasting my breath on her and save it for my kids. We are definitely in the I'm not sure what I want phase, and I suspect an affair, though don't have the time or a good location. She talks all over the house to put a VAR in and catch her, nor the time to listen to the 8 hours of recordings a day. I have approached the tell her family line, and she has gone ballistic. It is counterproductive to say the least. I thought it would scare her straight, didn't work. As far as filing, I told her that we are headed for divorce and that she is not the only one in this relationship making decisions. I need legal advice, then we'll put my case, talk together for the I am filing talk. Her main affair is with the attention she is getting. It's beautifully overwhelming to her, I think. I am making the wrong decision for my kids and the pain they will be forced to endure as a result of her actions and mine, 100%. If no kids, I would have walked out the door with no problem. I am overprotective of my kids. This is counterintuitive to me, and extremely hard to put them through this, her fault or not. This is a woman who made me breakfast, poured and delivered my coffee and put my lunch together every day, and probably still would, but out of anger and part of the separation ordeal, I don't want her to not do anything for me anymore. Not to say that she hasn't changed, or that she will ever be that woman again. A lot of the advice I have received on here is dead on as far as her behavior. I do believe that she needs a shot across the bow in terms of me not taking her crap anymore, and being handed the divorce papers would certainly accomplish that. I have been somewhat of a doormat, I would agree to that, but don't regret it. Gives me more substance to say, okay, I tried the wait and see approach, but it didn't work. So now, I am taking control of my future. Here is my plan, etc. This truthfully is a hard lesson for me. I have always been the one to direct and save the situation, including being her rock and hero. I need to turn my back on that, which is hard for me to do, let her make the wrong decisions and live with them. So, a brief update. I have told her that with her or without her I am moving on in my life. Seems like she is on the fence about moving out, but still agrees to a further separation. I want to spy on her activities, as I think there is more to this. Should I try to hack her Facebook and Gmail accounts? VAR is a possibility, but not sure I have the time, or a good location, to get the best convos. GPS tracker phone is another possibility, but I still suspect the vast majority of her contacts are through her iPhone, text, Facebook, calls, and the other one she is hiding. She definitely needs to know I'm serious. She is lost right now. I asked her yesterday what was in her mind for separation rules. No idea. When was she going to CIC? Maybe January. Are you moving out in January? I don't know. I have told her that I will move on with or without her, that I will not wait forever for her to decide about our future and discuss dividing up assets, etc. She doesn't seem to get it. I will meet with a divorce attorney and get advice and let her know my timetable and expectations for her, getting therapy now, etc. If I can use that to get closure, I could sleep better at night. I am very much a do me wrong and you're gone person when people treat me wrong, almost to a fault. I want to know, believe me, I would love to catch her doing anything at this point. Otherwise she holds to her argument that I am just an irrational control freak. With some evidence, she's out, no questions asked, no problems but the obvious ones. She has had now 2 women in her family, not blood, who were caught by their husbands through email, cracking a private account, or expenses, having affairs. I would hire a private eye, but don't think I will get the money worth. I suspect most of her activity is by phone, and at some point, she may be getting out, but that could be anytime. I don't have a pinpointed time when she is off the grid really. I think she is somewhat in denial too. I was the man of her dreams, and now, affair or not, she is not looking at me that way and she knows what she has to do. She is afraid to do it. She will push back on divorce. She thinks that is a rush to judgment. But when I look at the text convos we have, she refuses to talk to me face to face because it's always a fight. It can't be more obvious. She is scared of the single life and of not seeing her kids daily, along with the immense criticism from her family. Down deep she has to know she wants to move on. We will sit down in the next 2 to 3 weeks, when I have time to prepare due to work, and I will lay it out to her. No separation. I am going to file, and if you truly want this to work you have to make some concessions. You have 12 months to figure it out or we will finalize. I have made my feeling for her clear and my desire to work it out. I can't do anything more. He has been in deep hiding mode for a while. She barely uses the computer, though it may get me passwords that I need. Her iPhone has been the major enabler for some time. 12 months is in I'm filing and it takes 12 months to finalize. Well, the first VAR is in, and like everyone thought, not good. Not enough information, but seems like my wife doesn't love me and wants a divorce. Made a couple references that seems like she was somewhat involved with the guy, such as don't tell me to get you out of my head. And I'm sure I want a divorce. He is in the process of a divorce or a separation too. Don't think I know him. Sounded to be on the go phone also. Good information. Sad realization. I will put the VAR back under the couch. Hard to hear to words spoken, but necessary. As expected, she is refusing to go to counseling because she simply doesn't love me, so she is stalling, which we all guessed. Funny, she told me last week I do love you and don't want a divorce, yet she is telling this guy the opposite. She wants me to say I want out so it's not her fault. Good news, I guess. She doesn't want anything from the house. I want to save it, but based on her discussion, she is already gone. Said she has purposely not scheduled a MC or IC because simply she doesn't love me anymore and won't tell me because she expects me to throw her out. When I suggested an MC back in July when this really got going, she was so hesitant to go to an MC. I had a clue then it was something more. I can't confront now, too busy at work. But I may take a half day soon, hopefully with a name and more juicy conversations. Plus, I want to talk to a lawyer first and see what I need to file for infidelity, and if that makes a difference. I don't have time to confront her, and I really do want an airtight case when I present to her family. They are my family at this point too. Evidence I have is enough, but like I said, can't do it now with work. Need a couple of weeks and I will have time. By then I will have lawyered up and mentally prepared. Working on 2 hours sleep. And still in shock, never expected to hear that. People all told me so, and yet, I didn't want to believe. Yes, everyone says that. I need her off my accounts, and I want to go to D-Day prepared. I got nothing now. We all know she will deny everything. Say it was a girlfriend. I thought it was the first 2 to 3 times through. Then it hit me. I will continue to gather evidence, if possible, but I have all I need to know really. She has no one, other than maybe her OM to shelter her, and she knows it. I have her over a barrel, and she needs to come clean with everything. She wants a separation, she will get divorce papers. If she wants to stop the process for the right reason, not so she can better stage her leaving, then we will see. I have zero expectation of her stopping it. I have a good deal I may be willing to bargain with. If she wants to withhold information, she will be phoneless, in a motel, wondering what grocery store she will work at to pay her car and insurance payment. I may be willing to help her transition, not sure. But she turns in the burner phone, signs over her rights to my house and assets, shows me her iPhone data, and give me all the OM info. I still am somewhat in the process of taking this all in. The reality of the situation only hit a week ago when I got the VAR and read limbo. Prior to that I was still in the belief that we would work it out and that we were not that far gone. Naive I know now, but I was clueless. But, yeah, I am still in utter shock at it all. I want to make the best decision without a knee-jerk reaction. Believe me when I say I want to confront her now, with all my evidence. That is the knee-jerk reaction. But I want to talk to the Addy first, see what is in my best interest. She doesn't have a job, or an apt, or family nearby. I don't know what that means to me financially. I also do struggle with the holidays coming up. I want my kids to have them in peace, and they won't be, and that scares me. Would it make that much of a difference to throw her out in November? Or for my kids' sake January? Or do I simply file and for the kids' sake let her stay in the house until the new year? These are the decisions I need to make. I am in a fog of denial, shock, disbelief. I am also somewhat frozen as to how to handle the aftermath. The kids and specifically daycare for my 4-year-old. The last 12 hours, since my friend echoed all the comments, has been somewhat clearer. I have to accept what it is, and not what I want it to be. We moved to this city about 4 years ago, no family here and didn't go out much. Overall communication was bad. I stay up late and like to talk then, she goes to bed at 9. So, no time alone. If she does stay up, it's to watch TV, not talk. I bought a hot tub to have good time together, used to talk there when we dated, but she hardly ever got in. Didn't want to get hair wet so late. We did get better in the last couple years, but then she started doing her activities, which oftentimes were Friday and Sat nights, leaving her exhausted all weekend. Not the sole blame, but didn't help. FB didn't help either. She started getting the atin from others, that new relationship kind of feeling. Even this year we had some good times and lots of interaction in terms of hugs and kisses. We were the couple to kiss and hug before and after work, and when we go to sleep, hold hands in the car, etc. Something just seemed to snap in June. She went distant, and I tried to bring her back, and she never came back and hasn't since. We have to do something. The status we are in now is decay. We don't talk or interact at all. I have to do something to either get her to recommit to a marriage or we need to look at divorce. Right now, we are in limbo, and have been since July, waiting on her to decide something as simple as our relationship status. She says she doesn't know. Certainly, if we were a little better, she would admit she at least loves me and wants to try to work it out. We go with that. As most on here can attest, I am not taking this lightly at all. I have questioned everything and went to a therapist myself today. Waiting any longer is a waste of time and not productive. She will not just wake up from this and say she loves me without at least some help and a push or two. She may not say it at all, but I simply can't sit around and wait for her to decide what we are. That could take years, and she then may decide to move on. And don't forget, there is another man involved. That simply can't continue. She has been playing a danger game for a couple years, and I have been trying to stop it. That's why I was labeled a jealous monster. She got the fever and fed it. Eventually, she found a match, and went with it. I think it's too late now. I think she is gone. I should have played hardball 2 years ago. I confronted my wife today. She didn't admit the affair but didn't deny it. She is afraid of me using to gain full custody of kids. She ultimately is too far into the OM, I think. We are headed for divorce. She chooses that versus working on our marriage. Sad, very sad, but we are maybe able to keep it amicable for the kids' sake. She wants to be friends. I'm like, hell no, I trusted you with all of me, and you stabbed me in the back. I don't need friends like that. I lose too much by exposing. Her family will figure it out. She will give me the house and everything in it. She just wants to walk away. I'll pack her bags and open the door for her, and hide that I am crushed. It is very sad to me, and I will need therapy. Her only concern is the kids. She doesn't want me to have full custody, which I would not do for their sake anyway. They need their mom. That is why she refuses to admit affair or turn over burn her phone. We are still in contention about that. If I screw her over and tell her family, which would alienate her completely, she will fight me on the divorce. I figure they will figure it out eventually anyway, especially when we don't go to MC and I will have the house and property. I will be the primary custodian on kids, so they can continue to go to their school and have home too. Going to be funny when her folks come to visit. They will probably stay with me. They will find out that she had the affair too. That is her big fear, as it should be. Frankly, I would love to tell them, but it would destroy so much, and really not benefit me at all. They will know that we didn't go to MC and didn't even try to save it. Won't be because we had a bad marriage like she keeps saying. They know better. They will ask me what happened. I will tell them to talk to her. She is the one who told me for years, please just leave me before you ever have an affair on me. Then she has an affair on me. How long will it be before I can trust anyone again? I think there is still love there. She is just so hellbent on him and leaving, I guess. Someone said it early in the blog. She isn't the woman I used to know at all. I barely recognize her sometimes. I certainly won't allow or have any privacy in my next marriage, if I get married again. We never used to, but smartphones crept up on us and us didn't stop it. I guess I feel guilty too. I feel like I failed in so many ways. Failed her, failed me, and failed the kids. That's what I hope therapy will help me with, or one of the things. She feels guilty, as she should, for what she is doing. The fallout will hurt everyone, including my kids, as they will lose some, if not a lot, of contact with their mother's family. And yeah, I don't want to alienate even my cheating wife from her family. Though I know that is what everyone recommends. I just can't do it. Seems like no matter which way I turn, for now, I lose. It is a fresh start of sorts. Now I can have lunch at Hooters and not have to argue about it. On a more positive note, I think I am turning the corner on my next stage of grief. Been though the shock and denial, then went thought the sadness. For the last 2 to 3 weeks, I have moved on to anger. I guess that's good. It actually feels good to be angry, and stop all the feel bad for me feelings. She didn't care I was crushed anyway. Really pissed me off yesterday in her defiance of everything. She wants to sweep her shame under the carpet. Won't happen. She just can't see it yet. She will have to come to terms with what she is doing at some point in her life. She seems willing to just walk away with no regrets. I can't wait for her to decide on me or not. Just the fact that she has to do that is bad enough. She will crash and burn. So sad, but I think at some point, she will realize that we were good together. I just need to be in a better relationship when she comes back in a year or so and wants back in. Sorry, our priorities remain the kids, and that won't change. I told her today that the best thing for the kid is for the mother and father to be together, and that this will cause them more pain than she thinks. I am still negotiating at this point. I want the house and everything in it. She will just walk away. So, now, after talking to her lawyer, she wants a fair divorce. I'm like, hello, we have tons of debt and no cash, because I wanted to let her stay home as she wanted. So fair means you are taking half the debt. Idiot can't even get a job to pay for her basic needs. And she is going to help pay for the debt. Plus, with 3 small kids, now I have to pay for after-school care and full-day preschool. Money I don't have anyway, in spite of the fact that I really don't think it's fair that she has an affair and ruins the family. Then asks for anything. Just leave. I guess the lawyer was a free consult. Talked to her for an hour on the phone. I try not to engage her, but she is constantly asking for help on stuff. I'm like, hello, not your savior anymore. Call OM to help you with your resume. Or is he not literate? Sorry, had to get that one in. I need to take in a couple happy hours, start working on my dating game. Nah, it will be a little while I guess, but I can practice. She used to work here, so she can get a lot more money here too. I am a finance guy, so I sent her a spreadsheet to show her the monthly expenses she needs to cover. Just saying. She is convinced we can just be pals. I just shot her a text. Maybe you forgot. You are having an affair on me. When this is over, we will not be anything but joint parents to our kids. That is the only communication I will have with you. It will be funny when she is out of the house. Then I can work on forgetting her too. Can't wait. She will have to tell her family on Turkey Day what is going on. I have been there for 17 years. Not sure she has even thought that through yet. What to tell them? So far, it's that I didn't love her when we dated 15 years ago. Yeah, that will fly. We just came to the realization that we don't love each other. Yeah, I need to work on getting the message to her. I am no longer your rock, so quit leaning on me. I need to wash the leaning spot so someone else can use it someday. I think this is going to get better and better. I don't want to come out and say, hey, she had an affair either. Okay, I want to. But it will hurt the whole family, but they will figure it out when we didn't go to counseling. I don't want to be evil, though right now it's hard, but yeah, I want all to know this was her plans. She can't keep a secret anyway. After a couple drinks next summer, she will spill the beans to one of them, and it always spreads like wildfire. She has fluctuated from the last 2 years were bad, not the last 4 years I wasn't happy to. 15 years ago you didn't love me, so I now don't love you because you hurt me then. So, I am assuming a lot of the household chores, as though she doesn't exist. I cleaned the kitchen and my side of the master bath. Funny, she then cleaned her side of the bathroom and is keeping the kitchen clean. What is the psychology here? She seems to be copying me, kind of funny. I was plan B. She wanted to separate in January. I got to the point a couple weeks ago. She was actually hiding the whole affair. But she is scared of me taking full custody of the kids. That is why she won't admit to anything. But she has never been a good liar either. So, she can't deny it. It is true, each day gets a little easier. If I can figure out how this will work financially, I would feel a lot better. And have the least amount of impact to the kids' lives. It will get a lot better when she moves out. It's hard to look at her, which I avoid at all cost, because I still see my wife, but know that it's not her, as I have known her for 17 years. I think it will only hit her after a while of living on rice and beans in her one-bedroom apartment. Then at some point her Wonder Man won't be so great. She does know I can't throw her out. Yes, I think I told her I would when we had the blow-up that I wanted her out of SAP. She appears to be applying for jobs that don't even meet her monthly expenses. Even though I gave her a little help with a spreadsheet so she can see what she needs to make to cover the basics. It really is getting easier, which is nice. I am still angry but getting used to my apparent future. I believe I have told her I want out at SAP maybe a couple of times. And she has really ramped up her job search, as interviews today and tomorrow I noticed from emails. But realistically, she needs a job to actually cover hers and some of the kids' childcare expenses. So, I would almost prefer her to get a decent job than a minimum wage get-out-the-door job. I am convinced, and have previously told her, that she is ruining her life, and it will hit her when she drops out of the fog. But, like all the others, she doesn't see it right now. I will move on, and she will find someone who will treat her half as well as I did. Yeah, I spoiled her. Thanksgiving will be very interesting. Her family will tell her the same thing. Not that I think or care that it will help, but they won't believe her crap either. They will be thinking what an idiot. I know it all about the attention, but knowing how she really is, that will wear off. More than anything, I just want to move on at this point. I can't get her out fast enough. I hate the home environment. I will revel in the fact that she is in a crappy one-bedroom apartment, can't afford her iPhone, and lonely. She is throwing away the best thing that ever happened to her. But out there is someone who is looking for me. It's like having an enemy in the camp. I know she is plotting against me. I worry that she is stealing. All that stuff. If, when I look at her, I see the same woman, but know she is much different, and wants to be with another. Also nauseating. I have gone for walks for an hour or so. Take my time when I'm out, and trying it all. I had a happy hour on Tuesday. Didn't roll in until 10:30 or so. So nice, I have to vent. Again, had the job discussion with the WS. She is convinced that something for a job is better than nothing. No, it's not. I don't think you have to be a CPA to figure out that if the incurred childcare expenses, which she expects me to pay, exceed the income she will make, it's not a good trade-off. I'm like, okay, you have been thinking, using that term very loosely, about leaving me for 4 months. And doesn't look like you have made any progress. You have no idea what the hell you are doing. Then she can't understand why I'm angry with her when we talk. I know I need to do a better job here. I'm like, you have a BF. Maybe that has something to do with it. Is it really that bad to hit the bar and get hammered at 9 a.m. on a Friday? I have put a filing because as it is now, she would contribute nothing to the expenses. If she gets a job that can actually pay her something worthwhile, she would be paying what she should, half the childcare and half the expenses. We were trying to just do the paperwork ourselves, since we have decided what we will divide. It's just the expenses that need to be covered. A lawyer is useless for the most part, but maybe I need to go that route if it forces her out and gets her to take on half the expenses. She gets nothing from me at this point. I just haven't cut off her cell yet, as it is just about the only form of communication, and she will be driving to Houston for the holidays and I don't want my kids stranded. I know just a little about OM. He is separated, I suspect living alone. Not sure. Based on the call, I'm not sure they are at that point yet in the relationship, but I did think about telling her to go move in with her BF. Based on her previous responses, she most likely will just ignore any talk of OM for fear of me gaining full custody due to proof of infidelity. She has no money. I now do all the grocery shopping etc. I moved the savings into my name. Heck, if I shut off the internet, then she won't even be able to apply for jobs. I need to light a fire under her. She is totally cake eating, and I think as a bit much has pointed out scared to death about the daunting new world of independence without me to save her. At this point, she is willing to just walk away. No house, no retirement account. The job she is applying for would give me 90% of all costs. So that won't work. She needs to step up her game and get at least a decent job. She would take weekend and night shifts to help with the childcare costs, just not that many out there. I am trying, though hard, to keep it civil as the trade-off is. I don't blow this up to her family, it will come out eventually, and she gives me everything with no fight. I would win in this scenario. I can try to put up with her talking to OM if I find out it's more. Not surprised if it is. That would be a bigger challenge. Overall, trying to use the fear of exposure to my advantage. I know it may be an act, I am very weary of that. She seems sincere. For the kid's sake, to not take it to me and let me have the house. She pulled her retirement out for her surgeries. I would fight her taking my retirement. She has not mentioned it at all. Other than that, not much in assets. Just credit card bills. Once the D is final, the kids having parents together would be a consideration. And it would depend on how my dating was going. But I would say most likely not. I could never trust her again. And there seem to be lots of women that would be faithful and thrilled to have me. My comment, part 2 ending will come tomorrow morning. I will get it done after I rest my wrist a little bit. Hope you guys subscribe and wait for the final ending. Let's see what OP does for his relationship.